कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरांगिताय जय गौरांगिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि हरि बोल हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुदेव निताई मायापुर भगवान की जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देव भगवान की जय Hare Krishna. So, welcome to today's session on Science of Soul. We discussed about the requirement or need of the Bhagavad Gita. We discussed about the content of the Bhagavad Gita in a summarized fashion in the last session. Now today we are discussing what is called as ABCD of the Bhagavad Gita, the science of soul. So let me start with the presentation. I hope all of you are able to see the presentation. Yes. So first we will start with Mangala Charan and then we will take up today's topic. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I am very grateful to all of you. You have joined this particular course, and you are, welcome on online course for get today's topic, that is science of soul, or who am I. It is, this topic is also referred to as who am I. So this is, as I said, is ABCD of the Bhagavad Gita. You might have already seen uh, in a flow in the last session that the Bhagavad Gita starts with the knowledge of science of soul, especially in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This particular session comes. So we'll start with this knowledge. Uh, this question that is there on your screen coming up now, let us try to understand who are you. This is a very fundamental question. It may appear to be a little stupid question sometimes. Who are you? uh, because we see it from different perspectives. This depends on the context in which we are actually presenting our identity. But we today are going to go to the roots of this identity, who we are, who am I. Usually if this question is asked, our answers to the question are my name. I give answer with my name, that I am so and so, I am Krishnapad Das, or I am Akshay Kokil. Or sometimes we refer to our identity as I am young person, I am an old man. Sometimes we say I am a man or a woman. Sometimes we say my profession is so and so, I am a doctor. Who are you? I am a doctor. Who are you? I am an engineer, or I am a manager. Or sometimes I say I am head of such and such division, or I am head of such and such family. I am working in this company. Who are you? I am a engineer from Infosys, or I am a scientist from ISRO or DRDO. Or sometimes in some context we say I am a happy person. I am a very sadistic person, or I am optimistic, or I am creative, or such and such person is very boring person. So we associate so many things with our identity. We identify with so many designations. We identify with so many names. Sometimes at the time of birth, on the name giving ceremony in India, there is custom of giving 5 names to a baby. So there are 5 identities. He sometimes, in a Vedic ceremony or yajna sacrifice, they ask you what is your birth name according to your birth chart. So there sometimes we give a different name. For example, my Vedic sacrifice name was Devendra when it was given according to my birth chart or nakshatra at which I was born. So they used to refer to my name as Devendra. In my office, I am referred to as a different name. In my home, somebody may call me with some different name. We keep so many pet names also to our closed ones. So these are common answers. Suppose we are in some other country, we will see an Indian and we will immediately exclaim, "Oh, you are also Indian. I am also Indian." So like that, we have so many designations and so many identities. But really, who am I? Little deeper if we go, usually the question is answered either by modern science and scientists, or by by some spiritual angle. So these are supposed to be little authoritative sources from which we come to know about our life or our conceptions about so many things. So if we ask science or a scientist that who we are, then usually a doctor sees us as a body, a human body. And therefore this Dr. Harry Monson, professor of anatomy at Illinois College of Medicine, what he says is most of the human body is water. In a 60-pound person, there are about 5 pounds of calcium, half 1.5 pounds of phosphate, and so on. So like that, whether we are this personality which is told by the scientist, because these chemicals, if we want to purchase, maybe we can put a cost like some 100 rupees, or maybe thousand, or at most 10,000 or 1 lakh rupees. Still, can we say that we are simply this set of material or chemicals? This actually doesn't sound like this is our identity, or this is our real identity. Although we know that with science, somebody may say that, there are many theories about human existence, human body. They say that life has originated from chemicals and it has evolved into complex forms. So sometimes, although these basic chemicals or basic materials like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, and so many materials, somebody may say that although these materials are present in human body, and as such their cost or their value may not be high, but the way with which this construction of human body has happened, that construction gives it a high value. So there are many theories like molecular biology, genetics, evolution, DNA, RNA, etc. There are many terms. If we see from a scientist perspective, we know that there is a success for modern science in making test tube babies. So some scientist or a doctor may say that human being is nothing but a set of chemicals, because we have created human beings from test tube babies by chemical interaction. So how do they do that? Is, a lot of research has happened. Some terminology they give, like it's a set of chemicals which make it, either they are organic or inorganic chemicals. There are some terms like proteins, RNA, DNA, this deoxyribonucleic acid, lipids. All these are constructed. There is a helical structure of genes. There are these characteristics of a person, like what complexion he has, what kind of nose he has, what kind of skin he has, what kind of tongue he has, how he hears, how he sees. All of this is decoded into some terminology or some scientific terms. They try to explain all this. So whether we are this chemical technology, which is biological, today's modern science with computer and with lot of analysis, they are able to sequence the genes. They are able to find out the reasoning as to why a person is looking in a certain way. They also know how diseases come up in body, and how diseases can be repelled from body. They see from their modern instruments, and they conclude a lot of things about our existence. But we see that about our emotions, if we see, because we are not only a body, like some utensils in kitchen. They are made up of certain chemicals, but those utensils are dead. They are not moving or working independently like what we do, and they also do not exhibit any emotions as such. So when we go deeper into the scientific viewpoint also, the modern science, we see that emotions, like sometimes we are lonely and sad, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we shocked and angry, sometimes we love somebody, sometimes we fight with somebody, we see somebody as love, object of our love, we see somebody as our enemy. So all these feelings of human emotions, we say, we know that mind feels sad, sometimes mind feels anxious, sometimes mind feels elated, sometimes it feels down, sometimes it feels happy. So these are all our personality attributes, and these attributes sometimes are not very profoundly or scientifically explained in those theories. So our mind, intelligence, and identity, these three things are associated with our personality. Number one is our mind, number two is our intelligence, and number three is identity. But if we ask modern science where exactly our mind resides, they have no clue. They don't know how to define mind. In fact, they see sometimes mind as part of our gross body made up of these chemicals. So scientific studies and theories are not really very, conclusive about what is mind, what is intelligence. They can't dare to exactly give a formula based on their chemical, studies, that mind means this chemical, intelligence means this chemical or this set of things, and identity, that we feel that I am this personality. They don't have any significant understanding, in-depth understanding. In fact, my personal experience is, we know a subject which is evolving today is called artificial intelligence. But can we give some injection to the machine, like a robot or a computer? Some chemicals are, injected into that robot, and can it become intelligent? Or can we inject some chemical and make a mind out of that robot, his own mind, the way we have our mind? So when we see this quite deeply, we can understand that modern science is not even reaching to the depth of our mental, intellectual, or false identity or identity related matters. So the other point in this regard is, what is the cause and what is the effect. Sometimes we see that we become very unhappy and stressful. Sometimes people take drugs to come out of their stress. Sometimes some people take some medicines for their depression. So can we say that that medicine is the cause of uh, a, a happy mind or anxiety free mind? Can we say like that? Or is it that the cause of unhappiness was there somewhere, and that cause of unhappiness, that feeling, was covered by certain drug, certain medicine, or certain therapy? So can we say that mind is a set of chemicals based on this observation, that mind becomes unhappy, mind is unhappy state, and we inject some chemicals and suddenly somebody becomes happy? Like some drunkards, they feel so unhappy in their life that they always feel that they need to drink, some intoxication they have to do, so that they forget their unhappiness. So mind, which is center of these feelings, is it set of chemicals? Because you put certain chemicals like intoxication in your body, or some drugs or some medicine, and suddenly your body becomes, your mind becomes little de-stressed. This is example given. Many times they lose their whole intelligence. The drunkard goes and sleeps in a gutter. He loses all of his intelligence, but he feels very happy in mind. Like Srila Prabhupada used to give example of um, pigs or hogs. These hogs are there. They are put into a very dirty place. They play there. They have whole life. They enjoy, kind of enjoy there, because they look so fatty. Prabhupada says perhaps they must be very happy, because they are happy, they are fatty. Srila Prabhupada once said this in a lecture. So is happiness or mental state or mind just a set of chemicals, because we are able to operate on the feelings of the mind by drugs? Is it so? Or is it that the chemicals affect our mind, and our mind changes its position, and mind has its own identity, and which can be beyond chemicals? So as sometimes they say that you give an injection to a unhappy person, he becomes happy. That means mind is that happiness or unhappiness, and we are able to operate on that. Therefore mind is nothing but a set of chemicals. But there was a case in some other country. This has happened. This is a real world case. I don't remember exactly the place, but there was a murder, and the criminal was, he was getting investigated, and he was in front of the judiciary. And there was the person who was putting up his side of justice. He argued with the judge that this person was under the influence of some madness, and he had these set of chemicals in his brain, and these chemicals are cause of this murder. Because of this chemical, this person did this murder. So there was a lot of scientific evidence. There was, even laboratory reports as to this person has this problem, that when he becomes angry, he loses his control, and thus anger is because of these chemicals, and therefore you should leave this person. Sometimes a murderer, he tries to act as if he is mad, he is mentally unstable, so that he gets some discount in any punishment that he gets. So this argument, if we see deeply, that a murderer is under the influence of anger which is caused in the mind by a certain set of chemicals, is not actually punishable. Those chemicals are the cause, and the effect is murder, and the person has nothing to do with it. So is this justified? The judge obviously rejected this argument. You Otherwise there would be a chemical, by there would be an injection which would suck out anger out of the body of a person, isn't it? Or you can't blame those chemicals for actions of human beings which are very serious. So therefore we can see that these theories are having certain gaps. They cannot be, although modern scientific laboratory reports and doctors reports may suggest something, that cause of everything is the chemicals and all, but can we make chemicals, can we take out those chemicals which were causing the feeling of doing murder, and jail, put them into a jail and leave the person aside? We will not accept it. So therefore this modern scientific view of cause and effects is having certain problems. There is a lot of contradiction in theories and day to day observation, like the observation that I said. Other thing is, sometimes we say about intelligence, whether the intelligence of a person is, or intelligent quotient of a person is, his own DNA structure that is causing him to be having high IQ, or is it that the environment in which he is put, the teachers that he gets, the school in which he studies, or his parents, or his food habits, what makes intelligence more stronger? So some researchers would say that 50% environment, 50% DNA. Some would say 20% DNA, 80% environment. Sometimes so many theories can come up based on their own observations. But if you see a real life example, for example, my own brothers, I always give this example because I have seen this in front of my eyes. I have twin brothers. They are younger to me, 3 years younger to me. Both of them are uh, coming from same mother. Their DNAs must be similar, because there is no, they exactly same time they are born in within the womb. Their evolution within the womb was same. Their mother was eating whatever she was eating, same thing was making their bodies, and they were getting absolutely everything same. And when they were born, they were so similar, exact replica copies, that the nurse had to tie up a thread, black thread, in the hand of one of the twins, so that she can identify that this boy came first and the next one is this one. Mother also found it difficult. We all found it difficult to distinguish between the two children. They were so similar. But today, if we see, they look little different. We can identify. Many people do not understand who is who, but we identify them. And then both of them have a different kind of intelligence. If you see, they are from same mother and father. Their whole construction of body within the womb was same. Mother, whatever she was eating was provided to both the bodies. And then they were put into same school. They had same teachers. They were in same house. They were sleeping in same room. They were eating same things every day. They were taken care of equally. Their dresses also, we used to purchase similar dress to them. So everything was same, environment was same, friends were same, they used to play together with wherever they went together, everything was same. DNA is what we can say, DNA is also same. I don't know really, because we did not do any DNA analysis, but as such there is no reason as to why their DNAs should be different. But they became different personalities. Their careers are different. One is a graduate in commerce, one is in arts, one is a company secretary, one is a teacher. So their way of thinking is very different, their way of understanding the life is very different, their responses to the world are very different, but same chemical from which they are born. So how can we resolve these contradictions? Because we believe so much in modern science, sometimes we miss to see these simple things we do not observe, and we wholeheartedly accept only modern science. In fact, modern science has so many problems, we can discuss about them. But in this context, modern science, its theories are quite confusing. They are vague, they are inconclusive. Sometimes we can't trust them wholeheartedly. We always give an argument that science is evolving, evolving, evolving. Tomorrow, science will give us more insight. That may be true. The material science may give us more insights. But for the time being, it appears to be vague. So, what is life? When somebody is born in family, why do people become happy, and why at the time of death people lament? If it is set of chemicals which are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, this and that, and their chemicals based on organic, inorganic, this DNA, RNA, proteins, lipids, if it is simply set of chemicals, do we become really happy when we purchase some set of chemicals and bring to home? Like we bring phenyl to wash the floor, do we become really ecstatic and happy as we become happy when somebody is born in our family? Do we become morose when the set of chemicals are gone from our home? So if it is set of chemicals only, the life, then we cannot explain these higher esoteric understandings. We don't like dead body. We might have loved a person in our lifetime. A husband may love his wife, or wife may love husband, but when the body is dead, we have to bury it. We can't keep it there. The body which was an instrument of exchanging love, that same body becomes obnoxious. So whether we are that body, actually we are that active force which has left the body. So, to conclude, life, whether it is something like molecular collisions and chemical interactions, if we ask this question, is the love that you feel towards your parents or towards your dependents or towards your wife or husband, is it simply some chemical secretion, or is it something higher than chemical secretion? Can this theory satisfy us when the frustration that we feel is on its peak? For example, you just deeply contemplate this particular thought. Usually, in our interaction when we take this class in temple, we ask somebody from the audience, "What do you like to eat?" So somebody says that I like gulab jamun, or I like rasgulla, or I like pav bhaji. So we ask them the taste that you get in that particular recipe, like gulab jamun or this pav bhaji, this taste, is it all the times there for you, irrespective of what is happening in your life? Suppose a 10th class student, he has failed his exam, final exam, and he's given the thing which he likes most. Will he feel same taste while eating, or somebody expires within our family? Can we taste the same way the things will taste? Actually, the answer, all the times our audience has given the answer, no. At that time, it doesn't taste good. We somehow we cannot enjoy it. So, is it only a chemical secretion, chemical interaction of your object of eating with your sense of eating? Is it the interaction between tongue and the gulab jamun, that only produces that feeling of happiness or that feeling of satisfaction, or something beyond that. So it's not simply those chemicals, it is more than that. This example of a murderer already I gave. Can a murderer get away by saying that the murder was just some chemical reaction? We can't do that. We have to take responsibility of our actions when we live in this world. We can't get away by simply saying chemical reaction. Somebody would say, then why didn't you control that chemical reaction within yourself? Because it's not that everybody becomes angry and does murder. Everybody becomes angry and does something drastic. They control their anger. So therefore there is a conception of controlling these chemicals, and there is a conception of I can control that emotion. So there is a conception of a higher identity. So from that point of view, mechanistic science has no correct understanding of life. uh, the example will make it more clear. It's not that is modern science or mechanistic science everything is wrong. From this spiritual perspective, what we are putting up is mechanistic or material science cannot be the basis of whole knowledge of human beings about even their own identity. We can't conclude simply by taking into account what is the finding of modern science. Now the way it is different can be more explained in this example. Again, something eatable which is relishable like gulab jamun. Most of the people like it. So gulab jamun, when somebody is told that you describe a gulab jamun, a scientist, if he is asked what he will say, or a chemical engineer or a chemist, what will he say about gulab jamun? He will say that gulab jamun is a amorphous substance, and it's a its shape is spherical, and it has such and such a dark brown color, and it is dipped in the viscosity, such and such density or viscosity of the liquid is so and so. And like that he will explain it from his own perspective, his own way of modern scientific thinking. But can this particular explanation, this knowledge about gulab jamun, this scientific knowledge about the gulab jamun, describe the experience of gulab jamun wholly? Wholesome experience of eating gulab jamun is not there in that particular so-called modern scientific explanation. So there are so many things which we need to actually understand, not only depending on modern science, but depending on a higher understanding, which might not be there in the modern science today, but still it is a scientific observation. So, what is our real identity? That question we must ask. If it is not simply mechanical or chemical interaction, what is our real identity? So, for understanding this, we must understand uh, what exactly is there within our whole body. What kind of source of energy is there in the body which makes this body run? Or we said at the time of death, some force, active force is not seen in that body. So where exactly is that active force residing? Can that active force be my identity? We'll have to investigate. So let us start investigation in this direction. We know that bodily transplant, or the parts of the body can be transplanted. For example, if somebody's finger is cut, it can be a new finger can be put in place of the cut finger. Or a hand, if it is cut, somebody can transplant, in fact all parts of the body can be transplanted. But after transplantation of a body, say my eyes were transplanted, now I have eyes of some other person. So the way the world used to I used to see the world, does that way change after the transplant? Or if my nose is transplanted, uh, does it change the way I used to think about the smells that I am getting? If I am thinking this is a dirty smell, with a transplanted nose, will I change my perception to, oh, this is not dirty, this is very nice smell? It doesn't happen. So therefore, even if whole body is transplanted, all parts of the body are transplanted, our consciousness, the word used here is very significant. The consciousness cannot be changed. If I am a very bad person, I am a very demoniac person, my attitude is very angry kind of attitude, does my transplantations in body help my anger to go away? So the body and this consciousness, both of them are different. The bodily limbs are different, the consciousness is different. Therefore, we have to get into Vedic Shabda Praman. About Vedas, we will be learning in the next session. But according to the Shabda Praman, a similar crisis about identity was there for Arjun when he was trying to fight the war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So there he was feeling that on the other side, I am having so many of my relatives. My brothers are standing. My grandfather is there. Everybody is there, and here I am fighting with them. I am related to them. How can I kill them in the battlefield? Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhye Dronam cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Arisudana. Arjuna says that I don't know. Tell me, Arjun, tell me, Madhusudan Krishna. Arjuna is asking, how Katham, how Bhishmam, how can I kill Bhishma? How can I kill Drona? Pratiyotsyami, how can I, use my arrow against them? They are my worshipable. How can I use the arrows against them? Then he became confused. I have lost the sense of identity, because whether I am a fighter who is fighting against injustice, whether I am a grandson of my grandfather, whether I am brother of my brother like Duryodhana, or whether I am a student of my teacher Drona, I am confused what I am supposed to do. Whether I am your friend who is guiding me to fight, who is supporting me fighting, I don't know who am I. So therefore this verse, Arjun asked, who am I? You tell me. I am completely confused. Now I am your Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Please instruct me. I am your disciple. So I don't know how this grief can go away. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyar yashokam shokam. Shokam means this grief. How can I drive away this shok? Uchchoshanam indriyanam. I am not able to stand. I am completely lost. I am completely depressed. I am full of anxiety. Even if after winning this particular battle, I get avapya bhumau asapatna bruddham, rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. That means even if I get unrivaled kingdom of whole earth, and a kingdom like डेमीगॉड्स, देवी देवताओं का जैसा राज्य है, वैसा राज्य भी मुझे मिले, तो भी ये शोक नहीं जाएगा, तो भी this grief I am not able to drive away. So therefore this desperation is sometimes required to really understand who am I in a deeper perspective. One has to surrender to a spiritual master like Krishna, who is all knowledgeable, or his pure representative. Then one can identify himself in a deeper sense, or one can understand who is he really. So this is the first ABCD of Bhagavad Gita, in which the way of knowing oneself is by surrendering to a spiritual authority with a lot of inquisitiveness, lot of desperation, lot of need. Otherwise, we will not really nicely understand who am I. So this is explained as a fish out of water. This will again we'll talk elaborately about the state of our mind, a fish out of water, in further classes. In one of the classes where we'll be talking about how we can connect to our spiritual nature, or how we can connect it to spiritual power. In that we'll discuss more about this. But now we will go into the Sankhya Yoga, or second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, or Vedic Praman, where actually it's a scientific way of knowing our own identity. Sankhya Yoga means to understand who am I, how I am constructed, what are the materials. We count these materials. Sankhya means counting. Sankhya Yoga means by the method of counting the principles or counting the materials by which this world is made. What are those materials? So according to Vedic Praman, Sankhya Yoga, Bhagavad Gita second chapter is supposed to be or is named as Sankhya Yoga. Dvitiyodhyaya, Sankhya Yoga Nama Dvitiyodhyaya. So Sankhya Yoga is in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the starting point of indication of our own identity is here in the 12th verse of second chapter. Natve vaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha na chaiva na bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param. That means neither there was time in the past nor it is or in the future. There was never a time when I did not exist, you did not exist, or these kings, Janadhipaha means kings, they were not existing. So Krishna is telling that there was never such a time in the history, past history for so many, maybe billions of years. There was never a time when you did not exist, when I did not exist, or these kings were not existing. So Krishna is saying that these all were existing in the past. I was existing, you were existing, and they also were existing. And he says that now also they are here, they are existing. And don't think that after this battle, when they are killed, they will no more be there. So here Krishna says that na bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param, na chaiva na bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param, means it is not that they will cease to exist, or it is not that they will no more exist. They will exist in the future. Bhavishyamah, they will exist. Even though they may be apparently killed, they will exist. So therefore, here clearly there is a distinction between body and soul. A personality residing within the body is different than the body. So body and soul, or more clearly in the next verse itself, in the Bhagavad Gita 13th verse, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantarah praptir dhiras tatrana muhyati. Means just like within this body, I hope I am audible and visible to all of you. I am not disconnected.
Visible, visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just try to confirm. Thank you. So dehino asmin yatha dehe. Within this deha, here there is there are two terms which are used. Dehi means one who resides within the body, and dehe means this body. So these two things are separated in this verse. That just like within this body, a person kaumaram yauvanam jara changes from a small tender baby age to yauvanam means youth, and to a elderly person, jara means old age. Just like this body is changing from childhood to youth, youth to old age, and the person who is residing within the body has an experience of this transition of going from childhood to youth, youth to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, a soul leaves the body. Dehi, the person who is residing within the body, dehantarah, means he, dehantara means from going from one body to another body. And with this transition from one body to another body, the dhiraha means the sober person does not get bewildered. So here it is clearly stated that there are two things. One is body and the person residing within the body, and the person residing within the body is going through a transition from this body to another body, or within this body also is going from the state of being child, state of being young, and state of being old. He goes through this experience. This is experience of all of us. So this is according to Sankhya Yoga. Another place, Mundaka Upanishad, this particular word Atma is used. Esho Anur Atma Chetasa Veditavya. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. Pranaishchittam sarva otam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhavatesha atma. Means this can be, this atma vibhavati means it can be understood very well when a purification of the life airs happen. That means our spiritual intelligence can show us what is our atma or who we are really. We can see by purification process or process of yoga. So this is Vedic understanding. So now let us try to understand this, what this particular Sankhya Yoga wants to tell us. So let us differentiate between dead matter or material and a living being. What is dead matter? For example, this wall or anything around you which you can see, that is dead matter, not living being. What is a dead matter? Is dead matter conscious? No. How? Because the symptoms of consciousness are, we have desires. Living beings have desires. The wall doesn't have desire. It doesn't possess any feeling. Even if somebody hammers this wall and पूरा तोड़ देता है इस wall को, it doesn't have any feeling. Similarly, it doesn't have any willingness. It can't go on itself to some place. It doesn't express any willingness. So this is dead matter. It's not conscious. But on the other hand, we all are conscious. So from material viewpoint, if we see this world appears to be made up, we are made up of bodies, which is made up of matter. According to material viewpoint, material science, we are nothing but matter and set of chemicals. We are simply no more than a chemical bundle, or everything is finished at the time of death because everything is chemical. So this is material viewpoint. But now with this new Vedic perspective, the new point, spiritual viewpoint, there is a spirit soul within each of the body. Every body has a spirit soul which is of different nature, and the spirit soul is able to see the transformation of the body from childhood to youth to old age. So this is spiritual viewpoint, in which it is said that we are not the material bodies made up of flesh and bones only. We are spirit souls encased in a material body, and we do not die when the material body stops to function. So this way we come to know, this is called spiritual viewpoint. From spiritual viewpoint, we see the world as separate from dead material. So the material science may be true for our material bodies, but it is not true to our real identity as spirit soul. So analogy with a vehicle is given, where we know that a vehicle has horn to sound, a vehicle has, we have mouth to speak, vehicle has headlights to see, we have eyes to see, radiator to supply water, our body has heart to pump the blood, the vehicle runs on four wheels and we move with our hands and legs. So our body here is compared to a vehicle, and our soul here is compared to a driver of the vehicle. So within a car is separate, a driver is separate. Driver can anytime exist without even car. Driver can come out from one car and go into another car. Driver can drive to a particular destination and leave the car. Similarly, we as spirit souls are drivers of our body. We can drive our body to any location. We can use our body for certain purpose. We can utilize the bodily parts, like we utilize clutch, accelerator, gear, or a horn, or a steering wheel. We use all this, like that bodily parts we use. But can we say that driver and car are same? No. The same way, the body and the soul are different. Soul is compared to a driver, body is compared to a car. I hope this is understood. So what is important here is, car is not as important as person in the car. If a car meets an accident, then even though it may be very costly car, people in general will try to see whether the person who was driving car is safe or not, whether the people who are within the car sitting, they are alive or not. The attention will be first given to life. Even if you inform this to a police station, the police will first ask whether somebody is dead, whether somebody is seriously injured. People will try to save the person, not the car. Car will be a later on point of discussion, but first priority is given to the driver. Similarly, the first priority in our life should be for the soul. This is indicated here. This story we may cover in the next, one of the sessions. Uh, the distinction between soul, the living body, and dead body is given in this. Whenever, how do we identify that there is a soul? Whenever there are these six transformations: birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, dwindling, and death. When these transitions are there in any material, then there is a soul residing within that material. Like human body is take births, it grows, it maintains itself, it produces byproducts, it dwindles one day, and it attains death. These six transformations are there as long as soul is there. These six transformations are also happening in animals, they are also happening in trees, they are also happening in you know beasts, they are also happening in birds, they are also happening in small insects. So wherever you see these transformations happening, that means there is a presence of spirit soul. Now we must understand this life and death process very clearly. So according to Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, God has two energies. One is called inferior material energy, the other one is called superior spiritual energy. भूमिरापो नलो वायु खम मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यम में भिन्ना प्रकृति अष्टधा. There are 8 elements by which this inferior material energy is created. What are those 8 materials? Bhumirapo analo vayu kham mano buddhirev cha ahankara. These are 8. So these 8 means gross 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Subtle 3 elements: mind, intelligence, false ego. So bhumir apoh analo vayu kham. These are further divided into 5 sthul sharir or gross elements. These are bhumi means earth, anala, vayu, kham. These are water, air, fire, and ether. So these are basic 5 elements which are called gross elements. They are inferior material energy. Further 3 subtle elements or sukshma. I hope you understand sthul and sukshma, gross and subtle. Sukshma sharir is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Mano, buddhi, ahankara. So these 3 are called as subtle elements. These 8, total these 8 are nothing but our material body, material existence. Who am I? As far as my body is concerned, it has 2 parts. Body is gross, body is subtle. There are 2 bodies, gross body and subtle body, or sthul sharir, sukshma sharir. Who am I? From material point of view, I have a sthul sharir. From material point of view, I have a sukshma sharir. From material point of view, the sthul sharir has earth, the sthul sharir is made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. The sukshma sharir is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. On the other hand, there is a higher energy. Apareyam itastu anyam prakritim vidhimi param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. Superior spiritual energy, apareyam itastu anyam. Anyam means different. It's not same as this material energy. It is different. And this prakritim, this energy is param. It is higher, superior. Param means superior. So what it consists of? It consists of jiva bhutam. It consists of spirit souls who are actually holding these inferior material energy, which is called as jagat. This world is made up of inferior material energy. This world is dharyate, dharan karna, means just like I am wearing this jacket, just like I am wearing this kurta, धारण किया है मैंने. Similarly, मैंने एक स्थूल और एक सूक्ष्म शरीर धारण किया है, पर मैं कौन हूं? जीव. I am that spirit soul. And that spirit soul or Atma is made up of 3 things. They are called as Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means eternity. Eternity means it never dies. Chit means it is full of happiness. Sorry, full of knowledge. And Ananda means it is full of happiness. Now, if we ask our heart, what do I want ultimately? Then we can go to the roots of all desires and we will find that what we want is, I want eternity. I never want to die. I want full knowledge all the times. I want knowledge of everything. And I want always bliss or happiness or ananda. So these three is our real existence. That's why we hanker for these things. We deeply want these things because we are spirit souls. But now if we see, we are in an material environment where our body is not sat, it is asat. It is perishable, it dies, it stays there for some time, it dies, it is created and it meets its death. We don't know everything. Achit, we are under illusion. We can't see our own soul. We are not able to experience the spiritual existence because we are under illusion, and we are always under anxiety, stress or unhappiness. So many problems in life. The discussion about this will be in the next session, Vedas, the privilege of humanity. But we are exactly in reverse environment. Spiritual environment is full of Satchidananda. Material environment is full of Asat, Achit, and Nirananda. So therefore, this is helpful to understand us, our real identity. So now soul is covered by a gross body. If we can see this presentation clearly, we have a gross body which is made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. We have a subtle body which is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego, which is called Sukshma Sharir. So this green color Sthul Sharir, this blue color indicates Sukshma Sharir. So we have both of these bodies, and then there is this soul, which is indicated here with yellow color. This is only a very for our understanding this kind of presentation, but we have to understand that these three are different. And as I am wearing here, I am wearing a kurta. We can compare this kurta or a jacket. Sorry, I am wearing jacket on top. This jacket can be compared to a gross body, say earth, water, air, fire, ether ka bana hua gross body. Within that gross body, I am gross this jacket. I am wearing this kurta. So you compare this with a subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, and within that, my real body, this physical body is there. You compare this body with soul. So just to make an analogy, I have given this example, but something similar to this is actually with our identity. Sorry. So I hope this point is clear about soul being covered in these gross and subtle coverings. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can go ahead.
Okay, fine. So anybody has any question up to now, or is it clear? We will wait for say 10-15 seconds for anybody's question. If it is not there, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Naresh here. Actually, this particular question, someone has also asked me, and somehow my reply or answer was not that satisfactory. So I want to know, as we say that soul is eternal, and soul is changing the body. So right now, if I talk about myself, it is in human body. So does that soul always remain within human body, or it can go to animal body also, or does it remain only with the animal body, or it can go to plants also? So is there anything explained in Vedas about this?
Yes, in fact, I want to further ask you about your question. You are talking about, soul being transferred to another body when our current body is alive or when it is dead.
No, when it is dead.
Okay, so we'll take this point in the next slide because this next slide actually gives us a deeper understanding of what is birth and what is death. So we will understand from this perspective now, gross body, subtle body, and soul, what happens at the time of birth and what happens at the time of death. So I feel that this question will be automatically answered in this flow. So this at the time of birth, or how or why birth takes place, is explained in Vedas like this. We are spirit souls. At the time of our birth, we are put into a subtle body. We are the soul is in a subtle body, and then a gross body is produced, uh, uh, and within that gross body we live. So this phenomena is explained here. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Karmana Daiva Netrena Jantur Deha Upapattaye Striyaha Pravishta Udaram Pumso Reta Kanashrayaha. So the meaning of this verse is, by higher karmana means by past deeds in the past life. We had a past life, as it was brought out in the verse in Bhagavad Gita, that there was never a time when I did not exist, you did not exist, or these kings. All of them are existing in the past. So we, all of us have a past. So today's body, if we see the explanation why this birth has takes place, how it has taken place, the first reason is given is karmana, by our own past activities, and daiva netrena means higher authorities. Daiva means higher demigods or Devi Devta or higher powers. So, according to our past activities and according to the directions of higher beings, Jantuhu means the soul, the living being, Deha Upapattaye is put into a body. So a soul is put into a body according to his past activities and higher nature, higher powers. And which kind of deha? It is explained in the second part of the verse. Striyaha pravishta udaram pumso reta kanashreha. Striyaha means female. Pumsaha means male. So male and female, when they combine together, retah kanashrayaha means by sperms. When they combine together, a woman and a man, they they produce a body which is gross body. So the body which is there on the extreme left in the presentation, which is indicated by gray color, the biggest body, that is gross body, which is made by our mother and father in this life. Mother and father, how do we get which mother, father, which kind of gross body, how the body will look, how the body will function, what kind of height, what kind of health it will have. It is all decided by our past karma, past activities, and it is under the supervision of superior powers. Now, here we get the reason why twins are different. Twins may have similar gross bodies, but actually those gross bodies are affected by their own deeds in the past. So both the souls who are twins of each other, gross body at the start may be produced similarly, but according to their past karma, they will have transformations within their body, and they definitely have a different subtle body. This blue color, the middle one, the subtle body or sukshma sharir for the twins is different. Subtle sharir or sukshma sharir is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So their mind is different, their intelligence is different, and their sense of identity, like what kind of education they have taken and what kind of identity they obtain out of that, that is different. So therefore, even though twins have similar bodies, similar chemical bodies, they have different subtle existence. Their capabilities, intelligence, their all abilities are different. Their way of thinking, their perception is different. And then they choose their own paths and their gross transformations in the body happen. So therefore, this is how birth takes place. Then what happens at the time of death? Clearly, it is you can observe it in our PowerPoint presentation. Please pay attention. What happens at the time of death? It is clearly shown in this PPT. This happens at the time of death, that I will explain now. This within this birth, we get a particular kind of eye, particular kind of nose, a particular kind of sense of touch, smell, or taste. All these we actually get. This body we get with different senses, gross senses, and this body we enjoy using our mind. Manaschayam, adhishthaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate, means we enjoy different kinds of living facilities or sense objects by using our mind. The mind dictates what should be seen, what should be tasted. It it has its own desires. Mind, because mind is thinking, mind is feeling, mind is willing to do something. So out of this thinking, feeling, willing, mind thinks that I like this, I don't like this. So whatever I like, I try to obtain. This way I live the life by enjoying various material. So what happens at the time of death, I was speaking, observe this. This happens at the time of death. I hope you observed what happened. The gross body has fallen down. Gross body has gone into gross material, earth, water, air, fire, ether. After body is dead, gross body dead, we bury it or we burn it. It mixes with the existing earth, water, air, fire, ether. And our subtle body and our soul, spirit soul, we as a spirit soul remain there despite of loss of material body. Let us again see this. This is gross body. At the time of death, this is gone. But still, major portion of our real personality is there. So at the time of death, one gross body goes away and we again, according to our past activities, take up new body under the supervision of higher powers. So this new gross body need not be human body always. It can be animal body also, because according to our karma, we get bodies. According to karma, the bodies are tailor-made by Daiva Netrena. What we desire and what we deserve. Even though everybody wants, desires the number one rank in their schools, in exams, but do we deserve number one rank? Similarly, the nature or higher power sees whether we deserve to be a human being or whether we deserve to be a dog on the street, whether we deserve to be a cat or a lizard or a snake or a tree. There are rules by which this is decided. So therefore, after death, after reincarnation, gross body falls down, subtle body takes one from one body to another body. This is given in Bhagavad Gita. Vasamsi jirnani atha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Just like one person gives up old garments, takes up new garments. If my jacket is old and it is torn, I will throw it away and wear another jacket or another shirt. Similarly, soul gives up old bodies or the bodies whose death is there, death happens. Like we purchase some, some this thing, say some clock we have purchased. That clock will be there for some time. After some time, its cell will go away. So we change the cell battery which operates that particular clock. So the clock changes, this battery changed. Similarly, body is changed. If the old one is expired, old body is expired, then we change the body. So just like person changes his clothes, soul changes the body. And how? Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati ishvara gruhitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. Lord Krishna says this in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says that we obtain various kinds of bodies. How? Just like a fragrance is carried, vayuhu gandha nivashayat, means a fragrance is carried from one place to another place by the agency of vayu or air. Air carries aroma from one place to another place. Similarly, the subtle body carries the soul from one gross body to another gross body. So this is what happens during death or reincarnation. So one may ask, why don't we remember then? This question is obvious. If I have lived in the past, I had some bodies in the past, why don't I remember now? So the reason is, one reason which is obvious is the memory is there in the gross body. Memory mostly related to the events of our life is there in gross body. When gross body is gone, the memory is gone. We see this even within this lifetime itself. When we have something like brain hemorrhage or some serious old age disease, there the old man doesn't even remember who he is, what were his designations, who are his relatives. He doesn't remember what was there in his life, throughout his life, what happened. He doesn't remember anything. Sometimes we see I give some example like this birthday, this year, if my birthday was on certain date, I can remember what I ate on that day, how I celebrated that day. But can I remember the day before my birthday? Or if I go back to 1 year prior to this year's birthday, can I remember that how did I celebrate last year's birthday or last year's day before birthday? What happened? I don't remember actually. We remember particular events selectively because we give some importance to them, and most of the events we forget, most of the things we forget. So this forgetfulness is there within us already. So what to speak of something which had happened in the past life? So therefore, gross body, which is having this remembrance, mostly is not able to remember. But in some cases, we remember things which are very, very old because they had affected our subtle consciousness. They have gone into our subtle subconscious mind and they have made a big, big impact. Therefore, these memories sometimes remain there for a longer time. So that's why we don't remember actually. In fact, here Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that we can't see. Who can't see? Utkramantam means during reincarnation. Sthitam, always we are changing. Change is permanent. That is what Utkramantam Sthitam says, that we are constantly changing our bodies life after life. Within this life itself, we are changing bodies. Our old, our youth, our childhood body is no more there. Our youth body is there. Now it is middle age, or then slightly into 40s, then old age. So we are changing bodies. Similarly, we have changed gross bodies from past. So during this change, even though we are experiencing these changes and we are enjoying different sense objects using this body, made up of different qualities, different properties, we are enjoying the life. We are going through the life, the changes, but still vimudha nanu pashyanti. The people who are not trained in knowledge, who are mudha means not intelligent or very foolish people, they can't see how reincarnation takes place. But jnana chakshusha, one who is trained in knowledge, he can see. So that is why we don't remember. We have not selected to remember. We have not given enough attention. We are not trained in knowledge. That's why we can't see. And here Krishna says, Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyantya atmanyavasthitam yatantopi akrutatmano nainam pashyantya chetasara. That means even though one may try, if he is not properly going through a method, yoga, which is called as, if he is not properly acting in his life according to certain set of principles of lifestyle, then he will never be able to see, because his chitta or his consciousness is not trained enough to see this change. Yatanto api, even though he is yatanto prayatna kar raha hai, even though he is making an endeavor to see, he can't see because nainam pashyanti, he can't see. Pashya means to see. He can't see because achetasaha, he's not his consciousness is not trained enough, because akrutatmana, he has not taken up spiritual life, yoga process seriously. But on the other hand, yatanto, one who is making proper endeavors, yoginaha, one who is established in the practice of yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, this Bhagavad Gita speaks about them. So these yogis, pashyanti, they can see Atman, the soul, how it transforms from one body to another body, how it resides within the body. They can see all of this. Yoginaha, they can see by their proper endeavors. But one who doesn't make a proper endeavor in proper direction, under proper guidance, in a bona fide way, under the process of yoga, he can never see. If he is not on right path, he can never see. That is written in Bhagavad Gita. So that's why we do not remember our birth and death, because we are not trained. We have not taken the science of soul seriously. We have not taken practice of yoga, bhakti yoga seriously. So we are not able to see. So now the second part of this presentation, which is actually another huge distinct presentation, Usually it takes a longer time. We will not go into much details. We'll just go through it fast. So what is the proof that I am soul or the existence of soul? Can I get any proof? As we said, in a way, for one who is not trained spiritually, it is very difficult to understand that I am not this body, I am soul. But proof of soul's existence is quite, we can very easily, under the spiritual vision, we can easily understand how I am not this body. Here, common sense, if we apply in our life, the first method of understanding soul is common sense. Common sense, we know that I have, you know, existed like this. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. I have existed in a tender baby's body. I am there in this youthful body. I will be there in old body. Some old person can say that I was there in child, youth, as well as this old body. I have seen this whole. I have existed like that. So therefore, we see that even though this body is changing, our sense of identity is same. The identification with this personality is same. Therefore, this is common sense that we are undergoing this transformation. When we see that the bodies are changing and I am same, so therefore I am soul who is holding this body. This is common sense. Other thing is, when somebody dies, we say that he has passed away. Now, who has passed away? If we ask this question, suppose I die tomorrow, you will ask whether the body is taken away to crematorium, शमशान लेके गए क्या बॉडी को, और will you ask कृष्णपाद दास को शमशान लेके गए क्या? No, we do not refer to the person with the name. We refer to body separate. We refer to the person who was residing in the body separately. So if body is our real identity, then why do we say that this person left? Why do we say? We say, this is common sense. We whether we accept or no or not, we say that actually body is separate from our soul. We are separate. So this particular video, actually, if you can observe, this is how we are changing body, isn't it? So this change from boyhood to youth, from youth to middle age, and middle age to old age, this is obvious proof that the person is same, but the body is changing. The change is inevitable, and nobody can bypass this. Everybody has to go through this transformation. So like this, we can with common sense understand that we are not body, but we are spirit souls. The another proof is intuitive understanding, where there is an experience that I am soul. How do we experience that? So we understand this, I have but I am not. Let us try to understand what it means. We say I have a finger, and we say I am not a finger, isn't it? I say I have a finger. I don't say I am finger. I have finger. I am not finger. I have hands. I am not hands. I have God body. This body. I have God body. I am not body. This is little difficult to understand. I am not finger. Yes, I am not finger. I have finger. I have hands, legs. I have body. I am not body. So this way one can realize that I am not body. Similarly, to subtle level, I have got mind. I am not mind. I have got intelligence. I am not intelligence. I have got designation. I am not the designation. Sometimes it happens that my boss becomes very angry with me in my office. Then I become totally disturbed. But one should understand that after he comes back home, he is no more the servant of his boss. His designation there in his office only. So why should he become disturbed in home? But since we feel that I am this designation, I feel unhappy. So when we know that I am not this designation, I am a soul which is holding this designation, then we will not be so much disturbed. So I have got a body, gross body as well as subtle body. I have got certain designation, false ego. but I am not that gross body, I am not that subtle body, I am not that false ego which says that I am such and such personality or designation. I am spirit soul and I'm holding all these positions. So another proof is consciousness. We are conscious as long as our body is conscious, as long as soul is there. So a dead body is not conscious, like a dead wall. We gave example. So as long as there is awareness in the body, as long as there is process of thinking, feeling, willing, all these are symptoms of consciousness which are present because soul is present. So consciousness is the symptom of soul. Just like sun is there, then light, heat, everything comes. Similarly, soul is there, therefore consciousness is there. So there is a difference between souls who are within the body, and there is a difference between gross element which is just made up of certain senses like camera sensor or audio capturing sensor. Although they may be used, there is a difference between drama observed by souls within the body who are panel of judges, and there is a difference between recorded drama by video camera. What is difference? The conscious experience of the drama observed by the living entity is different. When living being watches, a panel of judges can judge based on their experience, consciousness, and they have ability to judge, whereas camera doesn't have any experience, emotions, consciousness, ability to judge. So therefore what makes us conscious is the spirit soul. This is one more proof. There are certain proofs in terms of near death experiences which are recorded in scientific journals. Out of body experiences, people experience their life out of body, people experience death and they come back and tell that I saw all this. So these are also recorded. We may not go into the details of these, but we can in fact have a different class in which we can focus on this proof of soul's existence. There are past life memories also. Dr. Ian Stevenson, who was a Carlson professor of psychiatry at University of Virginia, now he is no more, but he had extensively investigated over 3,000 cases all over the world, not only in India, of spontaneous reincarnation memories. And then he found out, he in fact investigated lot of cases, out of which 3,000 were undeniable proofs of reincarnation. So therefore science, modern science also accepts reincarnation as a fact. So soul, the properties of soul or our properties, our real identity, soul is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. Soul is situated in the region of the heart. Soul is inconceivable. We can't conceive soul by our own imagination. It is individual. It is not that my soul and your soul are same, or God and my soul are same, and everything is merged together after death. It is not like that. Every soul is individual. Every soul also has a personality and form. It is not that our only gross body has a form. Soul also has its own spiritual form and personality. It changes bodies. It can go from one body to another body. It can take up human body as well as some animal body, as well as plant body, or germ body, amoeba body, any material body it can take. Size of the soul is 1/10,000 of the size of the tip of the hair. If we make 100 parts, Keshagra Shatabhagasya, Shatadaha Kalpitasya cha. If we take tip of the hair and make 100 parts of it, and take one part out of that 100, again make 100 part, that much small is the size of the soul within the material world. Therefore it is inconceivable. We can't perceive it with some instrument. कुछ माइक्रोस्कोप लिया और सोल को देखा, ऐसा नहीं होता है, because soul is entirely made up of some other substance. It is indestructible. After body is dead, soul is not dead. So soul has a form, and soul gives form to the matter. As we said that 6 transformations happen within the matter. When soul comes, matter takes form. When soul leaves, the matter again goes into formlessness. Soul changes body. First it takes a body of a human being, but then due to his bad activities it can go to lower forms of bodies according to his karma, or he can take again human body. So God is different Then soul. This is one important teaching. Some so-called spiritualists say that God and soul are same. I am God. My soul is also God. So that is not correct understanding according to our scriptures. God is supremely independent. He is never controlled, but we are always controlled. I can never become God. I am part and parcel of God. So there are certain Vedic Praman, Shabda Praman, which are listed here, three of them, that these say that God is not, we are not God. There is difference. Living entities although can put satellites into orbit or uh, construct huge cities, but God can float millions of planets in orbit. Man can create 100-story buildings, but God can create millions of universes and control them. So although we have capability to control to certain extent, capability to maintain and manage things on our own energy for some time, but that doesn't mean we are controller of everything. So God is called as Paramatma, we are Jivatma. Jivatma, either in his material life or in his spiritual existence, is never same as God. So therefore, with this science of soul, there are many practical benefits that we get. You can see, we we know that we reincarnate, therefore we become responsible and we try to become divine, because divine life means our future is great, good. Divine life means we act according to the laws of nature, and therefore we become free from demoniac mentalities like greed. Greedy man is greedy because he feels that this life is everything and I can enjoy this within this lifetime only, therefore I should grab it. But a divine person knows that if I grab it, God's laws will act and I will be punished. Therefore, I should not act independently. He becomes serious about divinity. He is freed from lamentation, fear, and illusion, because these are related to material body. We feel everybody is our brother or sister, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, nation, because all people, everybody is a soul, whether it is a Pakistani, Bangladeshi, or American, or Indian, or a bird, or insect, or a cat, or a dog, or a snake, or a tree, all are spirit souls, and therefore we feel a kind of brotherhood towards them. Positive outlook and attitude to life, because this life is not, it's a short span, it's not end of everything. So even death also cannot shake positive attitude of a person who knows he is spirit soul. One must take mantra meditation very seriously. He learns art and science of mantra, because as it was brought out, one who is on the path of yoga can understand his position as a soul. He can remember, or he can, he can actually see the existence of his reality, real existence in terms of his soul identity. So this happens by meditation. Yoga, one of the important parts of the yoga is dhyana or meditation, and mantra meditation is recommended for this age. So one who knows soul takes spiritual life seriously, or mantra meditation seriously, and learns the art and science of mantra meditation, and really gets the benefit of the science of soul. He knows right use of resources, because he knows that he is spirit soul, and only material body and related resources are used for realizing the higher state of consciousness that is being situated on the platform of knowing oneself as a spirit soul. So in summary, we are not these bodies, we are spirit souls. Just as a car cannot move without driver, body cannot function without soul. Soul is more important. Presence of soul can be scientifically proven by common sense, intuitive understanding, presence of consciousness, near-death experience, out-of-body experience, past life memories. These are proofs of soul. The gross body is made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. The subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Computer robo can never become like human, because robots are simple material, gross material, and we are souls. Therefore, as consciousness is present in us, we are conscious beings. Robots cannot be in real sense conscious. The soul is indestructible, individual, eternal, inconceivable. It is situated within the region of the heart. It is not formless. It is having a form. It leaves one body, goes to another body. It can take up any kind of species body. It is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. The 1/10,000 of the tip of the hair is the size in the material of the soul for the uh, living being. This is the size of the soul. The society, therefore, at large can immensely benefit from the knowledge of the soul. So let us stop here. I hope I could cover within this short time. It might have been very fast, but still, we will be discussing further about the science of soul in upcoming sessions, how it is practical, or how this science of soul is implemented in our life, nicely, how we can connect to our and experience our existence as soul. All of that we will gradually see in the upcoming sessions. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any question, one or two we can take. Yes, any question in any of the sessions if anybody has, and if he is not able to put up this question in this forum directly, he can always put his question in WhatsApp group. We will try to answer. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for being with us for this session. I hope this will be useful for you to understand your own identity. This is one of the most important secret of life. Life's amazing secret we are talking about. This is one of the most important secret of human life. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, yeah, Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, not a question, but I just want to say thanks to you for giving this very nice presentation, and your delivery was extraordinary. And certainly, even though this is a very complex topic, and it can take days, but the way it has been covered in 1.5 hours, I think it is stupendous, and it certainly triggers the interest. People who want to explore the knowledge of spiritualism, this particular session definitely triggers for them to read more about Vedas, about Bhagavad Gita, and explore this knowledge. So, thank you once again. Thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vijay. Hare Krishna. So let's meet tomorrow morning at 11:30 again. Thank you.